Thought I'd show how I set the planter a little bit and how the vacuum system works. So I've got my seed corn in here, enough to plant. I'm going to plant all that today. It's about 500 pounds or 220 kilos. Come in 50-pound bags, 22 kilo bags. Each row, I'll put one bag in each seed hopper here. And the rate is determined by a series of transmission chains that you adjust depending on how many seeds per acre or hectarea you want to put out. In my case, I'm 35,500 seeds per acre, which would be, well, 2.5 times that, 100-some thousand seeds per hectarea for corn, as opposed to wheat, which is over 1 million seeds per acre. So we use the planter because the seed's very expensive. Each bag is over $300, and we want to place it about 6 inches apart. Well, it depends on the rate. But in order to do that, there's a vacuum system on this planter, which is typical. This planter first came out about 30 years ago, this design. It's an older planter. And the way it works, the seeds go down in this hopper, and there's a hole in the bottom. They fall through. See if I can show this. So come off. They fall through this hole here, and they go into this chamber here, and then there's a vacuum system. The vacuum system comes from the hydraulic motor in the back, controlled, powered by the tractor. The vacuum system extends along here and then goes to each row unit through a tube, like your vacuum cleaner would. And what that does, that provides suction pressure to the back of this plate. And on the front of this plate, the seed side, there's little dimples that the seed sits in, is sucked into, like that. Then this shaft on this part of the seed box is turning. It's engaging with the ground wheel drive chain through it's a clever system. So it's turning, and as it's turning this plate, which brushes against this brush, drops the seed down through this tube, which then goes into the slit created by those two disc openers there. And as it passes down that tube, there's a light sensor in that tube for each row, which tells me that the seed is planting, or at least it's going down the tube, and at what rate. And it will pass that signal to the monitor, which tells me I'm actually planting. So when I look out at the field here, here's what it looks like. Those seeds, that's one row. They're 2 inches deep in that row. But from looking out at the field, you look, well, it looks great, but how do I know? This is a way to ensure that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. I put one bag in. I can hold 2 bags, but the vacuum between the drive chain gears, which is a crude adjustment, you can adjust the vacuum from the cab, the hydraulic flow to the hydraulic motor, raises or lowers the vacuum. And if there's more vacuum pressure, more seeds are going to get sucked up tighter. You can vary slightly the amount that you're putting out. So I kind of calibrate as I go along. I'll put one bag in, and I should cover about 13.5 acres or 5 hectares, a little more than 5 hectares. And then I can know if I'm hitting my target. Because I bought a certain amount of seeds, like 4.5 million seeds to cover the 130 acres I'm planting in corn this year, because I don't want to run out, and I want to put all the seed in the ground. And it takes me, I don't know, 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours to plant 13 acres. 2 hours probably. So this field of 47 acres will get planted in whatever, 10 hours, 8 or 10 hours. Assuming all goes well. Well, here's where the rocks get. The rocks get wedged in between that gauge wheel and this tire, and then they tear up the furrow, and the seed drops on the ground, but it's not buried. So you can see there's really tight spaces in there, and a rock occasionally gets wedged in those arms, and not rarely. I've had 2 flat tires, not this year, but Hopefully I don't have any, but rocks get stuck in there and pop the bead on the tire. It's a pain to change these tires because they're in there good. Alright, I think this video's gone on long enough, but that's my explanation. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm going to get back to it. Obviously we're out on the tractor now after getting a sense of what the planter's like and filling it up with seeds. We are on the middle of a 50-acre field, and the overview is seen on the right side there. We're headed north, shown by the red line in both split screen halves. The left side is the GPS setting, and well, I got a line here I create, and then the computer, the tractor, will follow the directions of the computer, of the GPS monitor. I'm also monitoring the seeds, the population I talked about before. The sensors send that information here, so what it can do, I watch this screen basically all the time, and at the bottom I've got each row 1 through 6 is telling me how it's going. And in the green on the map, I'm hitting the target. Blue is a little bit high, yellow is a little bit low. And my target, like I said, is 35,500. This field was field cultivated yesterday. In the previous 2 years, it was in clover, medium red clover. This will be the first year organic production. When things are going well, it's no problem. This field isn't too rocky. There's a few rocks in certain parts, but I'm always looking behind me. In theory, the row cleaners ahead of each row will kick out the rocks, but as I mentioned before, they can get wedged in there, and then I'm dragging the whole row if I'm not always turning around. So that part can be a little tedious. I don't know if you can see it, but the tallest thing in the center there is an actual vacuum gauge, which is showing about 5 inches of mercury. And that's how I tell, I can adjust that to affect the actual fine-tune the output on the seeds. This is my neighbor here, and I'm gonna come up to the end row. I haven't figured out. There I am in my clean white t-shirt. I've got 17 acres done on this field, and I'll probably take me another rest of the day to finish this. It's about noon now.